All right, guys, welcome back. This is episode 21 of the Speed Up Get Your Hits podcast. If you are just finding us, this is just a podcast by some shooters about shooting, and we like to talk about how getting better, and that's about it. With me, per usual, I've got Nick from Velox Training Group and Brennan from Vortex Edge. My name is Billy. I run a training company called SpecTrain, and we're just firearms instructors like to get together and talk about shooting. We have a rare guest episode tonight. I'm super excited to have on Matt Pranka from Xray Alpha. Matt, welcome aboard. Thanks for joining us, man.
Thanks for having me, man. My pleasure.
Absolutely. So I am quick story. So actually got to meet Matt for the first time really and shoot together a couple weeks ago. We got to shoot at the legendary Go Shoot match Chris Chili puts on there. Had a great time. Not it's funny, not the first time we've sort of shot together though. First time I heard of Matt when I was first getting into competition USPSA, I don't know, about 3 years ago. I was frequenting all the matches, looking for GMs and M's to stack up against everywhere, and I kept seeing this production GM Matt Pranka pop up at CGGR on occasion, and I'd always going up there and trying to see how we stacked up, but never actually figured out who you were. Got to meet you. Had no idea at the time, but have really enjoyed hearing a lot of stuff you've put out here recently, Matt. Super excited to have Matt on tonight, guys. I would say you're a very rare perspective on some shooting things from the perspective that you obviously had a long career in the military, special operations, all that kind of stuff, but also a production GM in USPSA, and you do the competition thing and the performance shooting thing, and can kind of talk at a high level on kind of both sides of it. So looking forward to the conversation tonight and getting your perspective on some things. To kick it off, so name of the show, Matt, Speed Up and Get Your Hits. That's kind of my attempt at a antithetical to the classic slow down and get your hits, right? That we all get told. I certainly got told it a lot when I first started in competition shooting. One of the things I've heard you say that I think is fascinating is speed and accuracy should not be competing efforts, which I think is super well said. I would love to get your thoughts on that. What do you mean by that?
So I think where kind of all my formalized training came from, my entire adult life was spent in the military. So that's all my formalized training. It was always the same thing. Slow down and get your hits kind of thing, and really having minutia type conversations about things that I didn't think really mattered. Right.
Yeah.
Even as a newer shooter, like how I press the trigger, and then trying to figure out, we had like years ago, like set standards that were all, pretty fast, but a lot of it was you just kind of railed on it. And if you connected, it was good. Or if you didn't connect, it was, oh, no harm, no foul, you didn't pass type thing. Right. It's kind of like the worst, training methodology in my mind. And then as I just got better, right, and definitely getting into the practical world, and I'm such a big believer in the practical approach to training, that where the game, that we play in USPSA, or any really practical shooting game, rifle, pistol, it doesn't matter, speed and accuracy aren't competing efforts, right? You want the most of both of them based off target distance and difficulty.
Yeah. Yeah, well said, right? So, but I guess the question is that folks always have naturally, they feel like competing efforts, right? It feels like, and the way that most folks teach it is like, hey man, if you want to be more accurate, you got to just slow down, and that's pretty much where the conversation stops, right? It's like, man, if you're not getting hits you want, just slow down, and it'll just magically fix itself, right? And it's like that's not quite how that works.
No, and I think it's a lot of that is a problem with the guys that are teaching it, right? You're only going to be able to help somebody out to your level of understanding, right?
Yep.
And in terms of like slowing down to get the hits, like I've never liked that. I think the closest I'll get to telling somebody to slow down to get their hits is I'll be asking them to see faster. Right? Just see it faster. And I think that the idea is it's typically, if you were to say how hard is it to make somebody accurate versus how hard is it to make someone fast, right? Where it's significantly more difficult for shooters to shoot fast, even very accurate shooters, right? Once
Right.
you get under that umbrella of like no fail style accuracy, right? Where they've got to be there, they got to be there, and then it's like, cool. Well, now get into the practical world. Now I need you to get those hits, but you're going to have to do it in less than 30 seconds, right? You need to be down in that 9-10 second world. So for me, I think an approach to training is, you know, work on the fundamentals that allow you to be accurate at speed, and then put an emphasis on the aggression, right? And then I think if you apply that across anybody's, whatever you're interested, right? If it's defensive minded, that's a speed game. If it's practical minded, oh, it's a speed and accuracy game. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
it's like, however you look at it, there's always this overarching theme of like, this shit happens really, really fast, right? The game of USPSA is fast, especially at the higher levels. And then the defensive game or the actual gunfighting game, I would go so far as to say it's faster than USPSA. So work on that aggression and get people comfortable shooting in ways that they shouldn't be comfortable at, right? And I'm a big believer in that.
Yeah.
Love it.
So many things to go into there for sure. One of the things I think that's super interesting to folks, you just touched on a little bit, and I've heard you talk about it before. On the, everyone thinks of the speed that we kind of shoot at, like you said, as kind of a gamer circus trick. But you mentioned, I've heard you say before, that like speed is almost potentially more valuable in kind of what you do in the gunfighting side of things, in the defensive side of things, than even accuracy is, which of course is exactly opposite of what everyone's been told by
Yeah.
I guess a lot of folks that may not have been there. Why do you say that?
I mean, from my own personal experience, those situations are very, very fast, right? I
Yeah.
would say you start talking about things that are like faster than real life. And if you watch, never been a cop, but you watch any law enforcement engagement video, right? There's not any of them that are slow and deliberate. It's all very, very fast, right?
Sure.
A lot of it is close. Some of it's not so close, but the sequence is, it's still very, very quick, right? And then I think it's also like a lot of the consistent theme is it's asking guys to shoot in ways that they've never, or typically have never, shot at on the range in training. Or if they have, it was more of like a fam type, oh, just shoot, squirt some into the berm, see what the gun does type thing, rather than, no, I need you to hold the upper A zone as fast as you can pull the trigger, right? And once we determine how fast you can pull the trigger, then it's in my mind, it's not very difficult tweaks to get people to hold the gun the right way and look and be visually disciplined the right way to where they can get the hits. And you see it, like there's tons of guys. I mean, three of them are sitting right here that are training yourselves. You're figuring a lot of this stuff out on your own, right? And I think as guys go on this journey and their shooting experience increases, everybody comes back to like the same camp, right? We might say it differently, but we're all, nobody's nobody's talking about prep and press anymore. Nobody's talking about hard front sight focus, right? Because it doesn't get you those techniques are fine maybe in the infancy part of training, but they don't get you what you want, right? For anyone really at their current level, right? Whether you're intermediate to a, pretty competitive practical shooter, A class, M class, GM level. I mean, I just trained all day today, with Randall and Josh, and
I
it was
know.
like,
I'm jealous.
it's just, yeah, we're focused on the time,
Yeah.
in the speed, right? It's an afterthought that, dude, the hits need to be there,
Yeah.
right? That's something we can't. Oh, I don't
Of
know how to
course.
get the alphas. Well, fucking put the dot where in the alpha and mash that trigger.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
agree, 100%. Right? I mean, I think it's an interesting training progression. We've talked about this on the podcast before, guys. But like, obviously when you're first starting, I think you talked about starting off. I mean, you have to learn how to hit stuff when you're starting off, obviously. But then if all you focus on is that kind of bullseye accuracy, 100% accountability for every single shot, and you never allow yourself to go fast, like, you simply aren't going to get faster. It's impossible to maintain 100% accuracy and learn how to get faster, right? You have to kind of give yourself permission, to miss as you're figuring
Yeah,
it out, and figure out how to do the thing fast, and then figure out how to control it, right? At least that's what always has worked for me. But
dude,
yeah,
the
it's a
best
tough mindset, folks.
the best advice I got years ago is I was an unclassed production shooter, um, and I kind of had a goal where, like, hey, I want to make GM in the first four classifiers, right? And I had like a 98, 100, a 97, and a 22, and it didn't work out. But the advice I got, where you know, very good professional, he was like, "Hey, man, the biggest problem with people not shooting faster is they just don't shoot fast enough." And it was like such a dumb redneck like saying, and the more I internalized it, I'm like, that's 100% right, right? Like most dudes you see when you're shooting at matches, like they're just not they're shooting probably too much in the comfort zone, or they're shooting at
Yeah.
the only pace that they feel comfortable getting the hits. And a lot of it, you see, they don't explore all the different paces and kind of performance ranges that you need to be successful in matches.
Yep. That's 100% right. And I know, like, I'm sure you guys have seen this too. Like at classes, I'll ask people, like, if we're talking about accuracy specifically, like I'll ask people, like, how do you become more accurate? And dudes will throw out like 50 things. And then we get to the speed portion, and I'm like, how do you become faster? And it's fucking crickets. Because like no one ever talks about like just going faster, like learning what that actually feels like. So
Mhm.
So I, th- I
I think
think,
a lot of people don't know what it looks like either, you know? Like,
yeah.
we teach a lot of beginner, like entry level classes at Edge. And a lot of those people, they've been told what a sight picture is or what a perfect sight picture looks like: front sight, rear sight, equal height, equal light, or their dot stopped in the middle of the target. And maybe they've done a bunch of work to be able to hold their sight still, but they don't know they can aim with anything else. And it's like, oh, yeah, dude, you can aim
yeah,
with all kinds of other things. Like, let me show you what that looks like right now. And for some people, it's legitimately like, I've seen them put in a lot of practice time on their own, and they go, oh shit, like, I had no idea. That makes sense how you shoot that fast. I'm like, yeah, man, my dot ain't still.
yeah, and that's where I think you just have to. The only way that you, like, as an instructor, you're teaching this is you have had to have gone through this journey yourself, right? Before you want to talk and have a nuanced discussion with another shooter about, like, so I view aiming as like aiming schemes and aiming strategies, right, that I'm
Yep.
using. And now what I'm finding more, we talk about in classes is not really so much confirmation or the sight picture. It's like, how aware are you of that dot, right?
Mm,
And now that opens up the visual precision piece. Like, are you grabbing the right parts of the targets, and are you able to train in ways where you can be honest with yourself, like, nah, man, I'm looking at the whole fucking C zone, and that's why I'm hitting. I'm catching alpha charlies and deltas, right? I'm not looking tight enough. I'm not grabbing the right parts of the target. Or what you'll see is like a hyper awareness of the dot while they're staring at the shoot no shoot line. And where does the bullet go? It just
Where you look.
you're yep, you're blade running, right? Oh, you know, two alphas, two no shoots. Like, you just split them perfectly. So trying to get people, hey, grab a different part of the A zone, right?
Yeah.
And then the result's always going to work out better. But first, you got to get people to recognize like what you're actually looking at and be able to articulate what they're doing. Let alone all the foundational stuff you're constantly, tweaking. The
Yeah.
visual piece for me, I think I've been a big proponent for the last 3 years of just grip and vision, man. That's like how I will teach fundamentals. If we sort those two things out, we don't have to have conversations about 95% of the other stuff, right? If you can get somebody holding the pistol correctly and being in tune to what they're feeling when they're shooting, how much the gun is recoiling really doesn't matter. Like, obviously, we want to minimize the movement of the gun, but if I'm holding it the same way and it's recoiling the same way every time, who cares where the dot's going? Now you talk about the visual side, like when the dot returns, just pull the trigger again. And you'd be surprised like how fast. I think I've done that demo for you, Nick, where real fucked up grip on the pistol, and I'll shoot doubles, at 15 and 20 and get the same result. Because you're minimizing input into the gun, and I'm just shooting my vision.
Yeah. I love hearing you talk about that, especially on the military and law enforcement side, because I feel like the easy button move as instructors, right, is to harp on and focus on things in classes where you can see exactly what someone's doing wrong, like because they're holding it wrong or they're not using your exact form or whatever. And especially, the training I've been exposed to on the military and law enforcement side, it's like vision has like almost like never comes up at all, right? And it's just like, it's so important, right? You got to see better to shoot better. Your eyes are essentially the steering wheel for your gun. And it's like, man, we got to be talking about this more. It's so important for sure.
I think it's changing, right? Now there's a lot of old guard type dudes that they're not going to train themselves, right? So they're still going to hold on to the concepts of, days past, like, hey, this is what's worked for me. Like, I mean, dude, I just saw a figure, dude still carrying a clip it on his pistol with one in the chamber. I'm like, we can't talk about shooting anymore, bro. Like, I'm embarrassed for you. It's like,
yeah.
Dang. I forgot about those.
No, clip draw is what it's clip draw.
Yeah. The pocket
we caught up.
Clip for your gun. Hell yeah.
But
revolver, yeah.
The video is hilarious if you're YouTube savvy enough, go find it. But it's like, I've done all the research. I don't like holsters. Blah blah blah. Like fucking what the fuck, dude? Like, I'm embarrassed, man. Like, you watch some shit where you're like, oh, I'm kind of embarrassed for this person,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's because you believe it wholeheartedly, man. And there's people listening to it that are hanging on every word that you're saying, and it's like, dude, I don't know. I don't. It's the community.
Yeah, the community. Don't get us started. Whatever that is, but
I think it's pretty interesting to see like the instructors who are building curriculums off of just mechanics, right? And like it sells, right? Like if I say, hey, you hold the pistol this way, you can do X, Y, and Z with your pistol, right? It's like, okay, yeah, I'll go to him. Or, hey man, I'll teach you how to do this draw exactly like this, and this will get you, into all of these higher skill tiers or whatever, right? Those things sell, and like understandably so, right? Because I think like, to be honest, it's low hanging fruit, and it's stuff that you could probably just figure out yourself with a bunch of dry fire and practice. But it's the people who come to classes, any of our classes, I know, and they're going to get talked to a lot about vision and stuff that they've got to think about, and they've got to be able to verbalize, what are you seeing, what are you actually processing, what's your thought process when you see that thing, what are the cues for shooting, and you get people who are like, oh shit, like I have to think about this. you know
Yeah.
and it's not just, hey man, hold the gun this way, right? Like I'm
Yeah.
sure all four of us probably grip the gun differently, right? And it
Yeah.
all works, right? But we've all got to see a very, very similar thing. We might all articulate it differently, but we're all seeing very similar things when we shoot the gun at 0.18 splits, 0.30 splits, 0.50 splits, right? We're all seeing something pretty dang similar, right? So
Well,
that stuff's hard to market, man. It's hard to sell because it's the tough. I think it's the tough part of shooting.
And,
I
and for
I
think
think
some students, it's frustrating, right? Because it's like, I
Yeah,
try to give folks, obviously systems for self exploration. Like when when you show up to a class, I'm not going to sit here and try to get you to grip the gun exactly the way I grip it. I'm going to show you the drills and the systems to figure out how you should grip the gun that you're shooting to
yeah,
get it to behave properly, right? And then I make you go do the work to figure that out. And some folks don't like that. They just want to be told, "Thus saith the Lord, this is how you
yeah.
will grip the pistol," right? And it's like, man, unfortunately, it's not that easy.
so. I think a lot of that, I like it is low hanging fruit, but it's also classes like that aren't for people that are actually training,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah,
Otherwise, anything that you're
yeah,
getting in a class that's built around mechanics, if you were to dry fire on the brakes, you've exhausted the information that was available in that 2-day class,
mm.
right?
correct.
You can get to
Yeah,
mastery very, very quickly. Where I think too, when you talk about the four of us are probably all gripping a pistol a little bit differently, and I would agree with that, based off hands and platforms. But I would say too that there's probably 2 or 3 principles that none of us are
Yes,
violating,
yep,
that
yes,
are all the same, and we might articulate
definitely.
them differently. And that's where, like, I am like the only thing I teach is principles, right? Kind
mm.
of principles and then concepts for training, where,
Right.
like, how do you grip the pistol? Well, I'm going to tell you these 3 things you have to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
That we're not going to violate, and then everything else we can bend the shit out of it, right? Because if you're shooting a
Yeah,
Glock, right? If I'm shooting a CZ, or a guy shooting a staccato, I got little hands. You're right. Try to teach. You guys know Jared Fox.
Yeah.
Try to teach him
Yeah.
how to grip a pistol. His hands will
Whew.
literally go around the pistol twice.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
a wild.
Jared
I tried
made
to
me
match
feel
him
like
the
a
first
child
time
when I shook
recently,
his
and I
hand.
was like, "Oh my gosh, oh man,
Dude,
that dude
I saw
has some bear paws."
I saw a picture on CZ of him shooting a Shadow 2, and it looked like he was shooting a fucking Glock 26.
Yep.
Like, it looks like a
Yeah.
subcompact.
His hands hang off the bottom of the Shadow 2 grip.
damn.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
He is a large man. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy, but
But so I also think, like, go back to the mechanics classes, right? You see a lot of them.
sure.
You see a lot of guys too that they're kind of 2 different camps in the instructional side, right? They have a manipulated curriculum that they pulled from their old team, a military unit, or whatever, right? And
Hmm.
this is what I'm building the course around. And maybe I've tweaked it with some buzzwords or something like that. And then we
Mm-hmm.
shoot these 3 drills. I shoot this drill, and this drill. And then this is my final exercise. And their whole training for themselves is built around practicing the demos of those drills.
Yep.
And
Hmm.
for me, that is the absolute most devastating thing you could do for yourself as a shooter, right?
Yeah,
Because you're not getting better. And then I think in some aspects, you're getting worse, because
yeah,
you're practicing what you teach. And as soon as you get on something that's not what you teach, you can't do it.
100%.
yeah.
Or
You're
you
you're
can't
practicing
even.
a drill, not a skill, right?
Exactly. But they'll say, well, oh, this is what I'm getting out of it. Like, I would see it all the time. In the military, we'd share ranges with people. It's like, what are you working on? Oh, I'm just shooting controlled pairs. No, I understand what you're shooting, right? You got a paper target with 50 little 2-inch dots on it, and you're 3 yards away from it. What are you practicing? Well, just my draw and I'm doing controlled pairs. How? How? What are you? It's like you don't even know what you're doing out here,
Yeah.
right? Because I'm
Just doing the
watching you, and
thing. Yeah.
I can't tell which dot you're shooting at. Like that's a big issue,
uh,
right? Like so I think like the first conversation you have to have with those people is not fundamentals, mechanics, or foundational skills. It's like, let's talk about how to train. Like you could just go in the
yeah.
gym and pick random shit up and be like, what are you doing? I'm working out. Do a little bit of these. Doing one of these. It's like, dude,
Yeah.
that's what you're doing on the range, man. You better just go fucking watch a movie or something would be a better work use of your time.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the mechanics classes get pushed as like, hey, if you come and take this class, like we will make you better today. And
Mm.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things like dudes will be like, oh man, he showed me how to grip a gun and
Mm.
shit got way better. But like I I am not interested in teaching people that stuff at all. Like I would rather have them like show them an idea and have them explore it. This way they have like a better understanding when they leave, you know.
Yeah.
Would you guys would you guys agree that kind of, let's say, a 2 day, I like teaching a 3 day course, because I teach a lot of carbine and pistol, and
Hmm.
the 3 day is nice to have that extra day, um, in terms of just timeline. But no one gets, in my opinion, nobody gets appreciably better in 2 days or 3 day course. What you
No.
get from it is you're going to get training strategies for guys that want to train. Like I get it all the time. About 7 days after a course is when I'll get a flood of messages.
Hmm.
Like the guys that are taking notes, that sift through them and they're like, it fucking click. Now I get it, right?
Yeah.
Or like guys that I had one course, and then I'll come back and they'll be in the same course, but a year later, obviously I'm changing constantly as a shooter. My explanations are changing, the focuses are what I'm changing. Like I hate to admit it, when I first started this in 2020, I used to talk a lot about cadence shooting and thinking it was worthwhile, and it's like now I'm like, this is the biggest waste of fucking time.
Sure.
Like it's a pre-programmed sequence thing. Not only is it a waste in training, it's probably detrimental if you use the
Absolutely.
gun for real.
Hmm.
Because now you're just working on like pre-programmed response, right? And now you've taken away control and you've taken away accountability to some level, because it's like, well, what do you do? Well, the gun comes out and I shoot 6 times or I shoot five
Yeah.
times, whatever your
Right.
pre-planned thing is. And I think that the cadence stuff does that a lot. Like it's still, I don't do a lot. I don't do it anymore for like even the training value side, because I think also you can, guys that are really into that, like the cadence style shooting, you can exhaust that really, really quickly. Or you
Hmm.
can get really good at getting away with very sloppy foundational skills.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. No, it's 100%. I did the same thing, for sure. Right. We continuing to things continue to grow and evolve, and that's part of it, right? When I go to somebody that's teaching the exact same thing they were even 5 years ago, I'm like, man, like where you been? Like you haven't you haven't improved in the last few
Yeah.
years or learned anything new. You still got the same stuff. Like, come on, man. But yeah, that's part of it. I'm interested in this story from you, Matt. So you mentioned you talked a little bit a minute ago about getting started in USPSA and obviously you made GM very, very quickly, um, per the normal schedule of things. So with what you were doing at the time, what motivated you to really push performance hard on the pistol side of it, right? Because I think a lot of dudes that are kind of kicking doors for a living, right, focus obviously on rifle for very good reason.
Yeah.
What motivated you to really push to those kind of elite levels on the pistol side?
So, I mean, the interest of it in a place I worked at, we had a lot of things that were tied directly to pistol. right? Some very
Okay.
specific things. What I
Sure.
saw for me was I started looking around and like I knew a lot of guys that were very, very good operational rifle shooters that they might as well just throw their pistol at the target. But I didn't
Right.
know anyone that was a really good pistol shooter that sucked at rifle. So I started looking
Big
at
facts.
like there's things that I if I can get good at them with a pistol in terms of, you know, same thing, visions, like foundational skills, right? The way that I'm aiming the pistol, and then I get a tool that I can inherently shoot more aggressively, but I can do all this stuff with the tool that's a lot more violent in my hands. It translated over really well for me. And then honestly, like to be completely honest, shooting a pistol is much more fun training than shooting a rifle. Like
Mm.
in all the ways. Pick one and yeah, it's more
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
And it's cheaper, you know, not that
Yeah.
like ammo wasn't a thing that we were dealing with, but it's cheaper, you get a lot more out of it. And then what I saw on the pistol side was like the visual piece of it and the movement piece. And then if I could start translating that to the rifle, right, for what I had to do with the rifle and what my rifle game needed to look like, I just saw it. I leveled up rifle kind of by going through this pistol journey. Right now, I like 2014, yeah, 13, 14. Like I got a little stupid with the pistol. Like it was that I always joke with people. I'm like, the I could only shoot one match a month was all that I
Yeah.
was able to shoot based off my
Sure.
schedule. You know, I have 7 kids, so a lot of
Right.
family shit going on, and then a job that was pretty demanding. So one match a month, and then I was like, you know, I was looking at like Ben's books and shit. And I'm like, man, this fucking guy did it. I can do this shit. This doesn't seem that hard. And like, yeah, I started. I shot one match with like my work gun, and I shot limited because we were shooting 40 at the time. And I was like, this
Yeah.
is fun as shit. And really quickly, the more I read, you know, I started anything that I could get. I was getting my hands on, and I was reading it. Right, any video I could watch, anybody talking about it to learn more. And I was like, all right, limited's not the division. Like, I'm going to shoot production division. And then I found out, like, hey, we had minor power factor 40 caliber ammo. I was like, this is going to be perfect. I'll just shoot this. Got a really kind of shitty belt and set up some pouches and started training
Hmm.
and figured out the scoring system, figured out matches, right, stages, how to be safe, shit like that. And obviously I've been shooting a lot for a number of years, right? But the shooting in this way, I wasn't. And then to me, like I got more motivated to do it. It was taking up all my time. And I don't think I said this, but like I'll joke with people like that shit almost ruined my marriage. That's how much I was training. Like
Yeah.
my wife was like, "Are you just going to leave these targets everywhere?" I'm like, "There's targets all over my house." And she's like, "All I hear is beep, clickety click, click, click,
Yeah.
click, 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 click. And I'm like, "Hey," and I don't know, it kind of snowballed in my mind. I knew what I was doing, and I was like, I had this goal. Hey, I'm going to do this thing, and it's going to be good for me. It's going to be good for the team, for training. Like this is going to be the way, right? I don't know how it's going to be the way, but it is, right? And I believed in that, and then it just worked out for me. So, but
That's awesome.
it was really as soon as I saw some benefits by doing all of that stuff with the pistol and how I could have translated over to rifle to answer your question, like then we went full speed, like full send on like, hey, now this practical rifle stuff. And then a lot of the things that came out like in adaptive rifle, the book Ben and Joel wrote
Hmm.
was stuff that I had worked on for shit 6 years before that book came out.
Right.
And it got to
Yeah, it's funny you answered it already. I was gonna ask about that crossover from pistol to rifle, and if there was things you kind of learned along the way in the pistol and USPSA game that translated over to the rifle side. But that's definitely something I found as well. You know, I spend a fraction of the time on carbine that I do on pistol as well, but I found that it translates super well, and does for most folks. It's interesting.
Yeah, and you see, like, especially as a carry optic shooter, like,
Yeah.
you know, it's an unmagnified optic, right? I shoot a 2.5 MOA red dot. My rifle, the center dot is a 2.5 MOA. I'm dealing with the same visual things over and over. So if I can be really visually precise with a pistol that's moving a lot, and you give me a gun that doesn't move too much, and I can connect to it much, much harder than I can to the pistol, like, hold my beer, dude. I'm about to get busy with this thing.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Yeah. And that's the thing.
Yeah, it
like,
was
I talk about, like, shooting pistol. Like, I'm by trade a rifle shooter,
sure.
but it's just a type of rifle shooting that there's no game for it. You know, I wish there was, but
Yeah,
that
same.
kind of assault rifle, operator style rifle, I love it. You know.
I finally broke down and built got a PCC built for me this year just out of desperation to shoot carbine in the game, right? But it's not quite what you're looking for. But yeah, if there was a hit factor style game for real carbine, that would be awesome. But we just don't
Dude,
have
I
it yet.
think I think the PCSL stuff is going to
Yeah.
be good. I just started got introduced to Max Leograndis like via text to buy some targets, and because I think, you know, a 2-gun match would be the ultimate fun,
Yeah.
Yep.
right?
I
Hit
agree.
factor scored, USPSA, where you've got targets pushed out to, you know, intermediate rifle distances, close rifle distances, you know, and then it's really emphasizing that with the hit factor scoring, balancing speed and accuracy.
That's the cool thing about hit factor is you can do almost anything you want with that same scoring rubric, right? It's like
Yeah.
I've never shot 2-gun in my life or 3-gun, but if I went to a match where we were doing pistols and rifles and whatever kind of gun, and you're like, yeah, it's points and time. I'm like, yeah, I got it, right? And like I can immediately apply that. I think his PCSL stuff. I think that's going to take off. I've seen that he's put out some rules for single gun stuff as well. Maybe even like as an alternative to USPSA type stuff with just pistols or just rifles, and I think that's really cool. And it seems like he's rolling out some stuff to make it easy for current clubs to get like up and rolling with that kind of thing and host those matches.
Dude,
I think it's awesome.
that's what I read that was really interesting, trying to get the, you know, the TRC where I shoot here in North Carolina, like, you can just buy the targets, right? The rules are there. You don't need to like join some organization. He's just into, like, you want to host a match, like, we're going to help guide you through it. These are kind of the state, and then just go have a fun match. But it's not an
Yeah.
outlaw style match. It's very, you know, tons of competitive equity, you know, where I think that's the big issue. Well, it's the big issue that I have with a lot of the outlaw style matches. You're like, well, what's the fucking scoring? You know, what
Yeah.
are we doing? Well, it's this or that. It's just kind of one hit anywhere or 2 hits there. But then at any point, we're going to manipulate the scoring mid-match, you know, when for an unforeseen instance comes up. Like, I've seen that, and you're like, it's still fun to shoot, right? But guys that are competitors that want to compete and win, above everything else, you want consistent rules and competitive equity, right?
Yeah.
Like, I do anyway.
Yeah, I tried going to one of the local 2-gun matches that they actually have kind of an outlaw 2-gun match here in the area. And I texted one of the guys. I was like, "So, like, what are the rules of this match?" And he was like, "Well, what do you mean?" And I was like, "Well, let's start with, like, what do you guys shoot? Like, what are the rules on, like, rifles? Like, what can I have on my rifle?" And there's like, "Well, I'm sure whatever you have is fine." I was like, oh,
Yeah.
come on, bro. Like, this is not it.
Do we not
Um,
understand that if I do things to this rifle, it can be way more competitive than a duty gun? Like,
right. Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited about PCSL. The steep hill to climb in my mind is like, the reason I'm interested in USPSA is because that's where the best of the best are, right? And the best of the best are there because that's where the world shoot is, right? Is in IPSC/USPSA. And so until you have a similar level of competition in PCSL, it's going to be, I feel like difficult attracting the top guys to really dedicate, their lives to the sport the way that we do for USPSA, right? But it'll be fun for sure. And I'm looking forward to hopefully having some in the area. I'd love to get in on it for sure.
yeah,
Dude, I think I'm
it
gonna try to do that next year, like in lieu of some of the USPSA matches that we do in the
Yeah.
winter. Like I'm just gonna do it on one of my months because I'm one of the MDs and see how people like it.
dude,
It'll be rad.
That'd be awesome.
I think they'll love it. In your guys' facility, you have the ability to push it out a little bit, right? You have those ranges are awesome. The setup at Vortex is really good. And I think too, it is like it's an uphill battle, but look at like funny thing is, another fucking golf analogy, that live golf stuff, right? The
Yeah.
best and the best went over to live golf, and it created huge issues for the PGA Tour. So
Yeah.
I think it just takes like, I think if you can prove like, hey, the game is fun, it's just as fun as USPSA, and it's organized, the competitive equity's there, then you just have to get like the top level guys. Maybe the
Yep.
top level guys don't come over because they're not interested in shooting rifles, but I'll tell you, there's a lot of guys that you see. Like, I know Nils shoots 3-gun, right? And I'm sure, any of them would be like, yeah, I'll go shoot this match. It's as long as the rules, hey, these are the rules. And basically, I think they're very, very similar to USPSA style rules.
Yeah.
Yep.
Those dudes like to win stuff. And if there's winning to be done, I think it wouldn't be that difficult to get them over. There just needs to be some
I
good
mean,
organization and good matches being run.
some of them will even go shoot IDPA if there's winning to be done.
Yeah.
As crazy as that is.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about it.
Oh, dude, I was out in Arizona last month for basically the whole month. I shot 3 matches out there, but there was an IDPA match I missed because we were training that day, and it was like started a little bit too early. But all those same GMs, same top level dudes out at Rio are shooting IDPA, right? And I will say that was like the match that I shot at Rio was probably one of the best club matches I ever shot. We
I've heard
started
nothing but great things.
Yeah, we were shooting at fucking 8:30, I think it started. 8:30. We were done at 10:30 with 7 stages.
Wow.
And they shoot like
Wow.
they don't there's no playing games, dude. It's not like this, in our area you show up, like you ever go shoot at Sir Walter, it's like bring a lunch and a dinner, dude. Like
Yep.
you're going to sit there 25-man squad shoot for 12 seconds, sit around for 2 hours. Like, I've left that match more than I finished it. And it's a great match. It's just, there's so many people. It's like, dude, that's why I like what Chris is doing at Go Shoot, where he's running a match, right, every weekend.
Pretty much, yeah. Unless he's got something else going on.
2 days a week. 2 days a week.
Yeah,
Wednesday
indoor. Yeah, with
and
indoor.
Saturday.
Yep.
Oh, the indoor one. Yeah, and dude, his match is like, you get through it pretty quick. It's nice. I mean, the last one we shot, we started at 9 or 10.
10.
10. Yeah.
Yeah, at 10. We were eating at 1.
Yep.
We were eating Mexican food at 1 o'clock. Like, at what, 7, 8 stages? You can't beat that, man. It's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, that's how it should be. That should be. We had a good squad though, man. It's like who's on your squad makes a big difference. Everyone's pitching in and working and getting through it quick, and not doing a 20-minute walkthrough. And
when it's that's like Yeah, the other thing with some clubs around it's just the three dudes taping everything.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, dude, get your O2 tank, come over here, let's tape these targets real quick.
the rest of the squad's picking up brass.
Yeah,
Dude,
Yeah.
that's the Spartanburg Club, Billy.
Yeah. Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about, Brennan.
Oh, that is
Yeah.
the worst
The
for
brass
that.
vultures are real bad down there for sure.
Brass vultures and O2 tanks.
Yep.
it's like
Yeah.
the dude that's shooting 38 super comp and he's trying to get his brass while he's shooting the stage.
Yep.
I know it's expensive, man. Fuck, dude. Shoot carry optics. You'll be just as good.
Or bad.
Yeah.
Or bad, yeah. Is the all right. So Matt, that first match for you at Sir Walter, right? Like, I talked to a lot of guys, and it's crazy to say it, right? But dudes that like get shot at on a regular basis are like fairly intimidated about the idea of going and shooting a match. It's something that just a completely different world, something they're not comfortable with at all. What was that like for you? What was your experience like, and what would you say to those kind of folks?
Dude, so for me, I shot the first match and I don't think I did. I mean, I didn't do bad, but I definitely didn't do good, right? At that time, like
Sure.
there was a couple GMs that were shooting regularly in production. To
Yeah.
me, I just looked at it. It was like it's the same way I've always looked at my shooting. It's like it. Hey, this is it. Like this is how I shoot. It doesn't matter where dudes are like, well, because I don't know. I'm sure everybody has some level of ego. I don't feel like I'm
Yeah.
very egotistical. Uh, I don't like. It's just the shit that I do in my professional life has nothing to do with this. If you do this better than me, I want to know. Like to me, it was really interesting. Take Ben Berry is a class
Yep.
like how in the fuck did you get so good at this? First off, you show me how you train, and then also why, dude. This is shooting is the biggest waste of fucking time, right?
Yeah.
Let's be honest about this. If we extend the timeline out, and you're like, I'm a defensive shooter, and I buy, I know my ammo buys are fucking they hurt, right? You're like 2 or 3 times a year, I'm stroking, eight to $9,000, $10,000 checks on ammo. But I get it. Like guys get interested in it, and it's, you want to be if you're on the defensive side, or that's your thing. Like you want to be ready, and you're getting ready for whatever. Like the competition. Like I want to be as good as I can be, and the competitive space is the best way to test it. Right to
100%.
where so when I go to a
Yeah.
match and it's like we shot a go shoot, dude, I think you put like 11% on me, and I'm like, it's that's what it was. It's not, it doesn't hurt my fucking ego or whatever. Like
Sure.
it was good, and it was a good time. We had a good experience, but I think a lot of guys, that come from the tactical world, you go to a match or you get into this style of training, the first thing you're going to learn, like right off the bat, is you don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah.
Right now, how you internalize that information is going to be the telltale sign of if you're successful as someone that can train themselves, or are you just going to go back into your own echo chamber and that was all bullshit, that's all fucked up, right? Those guys don't know it. Like no, like they all do know it. They're doing what you have, like some sort of pedigree says that you do better than everyone else. I hate to tell you, dude, you're not the best at it. The
Yeah.
best dudes at it don't do it for a living, right? And
Right.
that's to me it was that's what interested me. I was like, well, let's figure out how they're doing it, right? How can we play this game? And then can we draw parallels from that game, is that going to make me better at my job? And for me, it took very little time to see like that level of training, and then some of the concepts in training, you know, we were already doing. Like all of the training on the ranges was all practical in nature, but the way that
Yeah.
we dry fired was a little bit different, right? So then learning how to dry fire as a competitor, as a practical shooter, and the takeaways that you're supposed to be getting out of dry fire were much more beneficial to me than how we kind of dry fired fundamentals, right? Like trigger press, not moving the sight, like bullseye type stuff, right?
Yeah.
The dry fire was just that was all of your gun handling was dry fire.
Yeah.
And I do think you got to do I do all my gun handling training in dry fire, right? And I check it live, but that still represents like 10% of my dry fire is gun handling, right? The other part is like, to me, I kind of like equated to, it's like teaching myself. The training side of it is learning how to objectively assess what my sights are doing while it's happening and not after the fact. That's
Yeah.
my number one takeaway from dry fire.
Yeah.
So
100%.
yeah, so all of that stuff, learning that in the practical, and then wanting to be successful in matches, and then my own kind of competitive, like, dude, I want to win. Like, I want to win this division. I want to win production. Then it was like, fuck, man. Now, when practice score came out, like, I want to win the match.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so interesting you talk about that. It's like, man, Brennan, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, right? So like, I had a buddy for years. That was like a local SWAT guy, right? And it's like I was trying to get him to come shoot a match, and it was almost like some guys have this idea, like, man, if I show up as the local SWAT cop to this match, and I don't win, like everyone's just gonna like lose respect for me and think that I'm not a professional, And it's like, man. Nobody that's good enough at shooting to beat you at the match gives a crap about who you are or where you placed. They're just looking about, okay, how did the next guy beat me by half a second on this stage, and what did he do? Like that's all we're looking at, right? Like no one gives a crap. We're just all there to get better. And for folks that want to get better, it's a great place to do it,
Every competition guy knows that the local SWAT guy, if his name's not Keith Garcia, is not going to win the match.
Yeah.
Don't worry, dude. What are they all going to think? Oh, they already think that. So just go shoot it anyway.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And hell, man, even if they won a local match, no one's going to remember your name. It's a local match. Doesn't matter.
Correct.
Dude, I think too, what people don't, from the tactical world, don't understand the way that they should, is that you're going to go shoot a match, and the amount of data you're going to get about what just happened and how you can use that to drive your own training is, most people won't compile that type of data on the range themselves, right? Even if we used to shoot a lot of stages where we would set like mock matches up in practice score and shoot them, but we did it because it did all the math for us really easily. But we still use that data like, hey man, you shot 80% of the points. That's not good, right? You gotta these were your alphas, and then you see it all in front of you, and guys were like, oh shit, I gotta step up, or it's just because in that type of environment, just like, I think kind of like maybe if you have a group of dudes you train with. So Brandon, for the Vortex, it's a pretty big shit talking office, isn't it?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, and that's the part of it that I like, right? It's like, oh, we're just going to print this up. It's all right there. I mean, we're not going to talk shit for the first 20 seconds while everyone reads it, but then it's going to start. And it's going to be relentless and brutal, and it'll be toxic, and everyone will love it.
Absolutely.
And the data's only getting better, right? I mean, had dudes messaging me from the match I shot this weekend, right? At the match shot this weekend using the AMG timers. We have all the time charts. with every single split and every single hit recorded from the entire stage, right? And guys are like, how did you do that stage that fast? And we're able to pull up time charts. And I'm like, well, see, man, you shot a makeup shot right there, and then you took way too long on that transition, and you lost you lost 1.2 seconds right there. And the diagnostics you can get out of that, kind of stuff is pretty amazing. I posted that stage planning thing. Me and another GM at the match we did two completely different stage plans, and we ended up within 200ths of a second difference. On the runs, right? Even though we went like totally opposite directions and ended up, completely different, right? But the stuff you learn from that's really cool.
So this is another good thing, right? For the tactical guys that don't want to shoot matches. Like that, as you become more competitive, you'll start to learn. It has nothing to do with what you're about to do on the stage, right? It's how you execute it. Because there's plenty of times, the way I will always plan stages to what makes sense to me first and foremost, and what I know I can execute, right?
Sure.
I'm not going to be like, I'm going to activate the swinger and then I'm going to shoot it on the move at 15 yards. That's never going to be in my stage plan because I know I can't do it, right? So what you learn, though, is that it's really more about execution, right? If you were to look at it from your own training, and I'm sure you guys have done this before, we set up, hey, there's 60 points out there from two positions. It doesn't matter how I do those two positions, right, or three positions, it's still the same 60 points. Now, in absence of running past them and you're adding extra movement, but then you can start to conceptualize if there's extra movement, I just need to be more aggressive while I'm doing that. And you start to see like where you're losing time, right? And where you lose time in terms of position entry, that translates 100% directly over to the tactical world. Right? Gun up, ready to shoot sooner. That's why every time my head is about to pop off my body when I see people with their fucking buttstocks off of their shoulder coming through doorways, and it's like,
that's my favorite shit ever.
Dude, it's just like I'm just watching it. Yeah, I got 3/4 of a second on you right there. Another 3/4 of a second on you. Like if you do that in every room, you're 5 seconds behind real life in a 3-bedroom house.
He got all alphas though, Matt.
Yeah. No, they didn't.
Yeah.
Let's be honest about that. We're not even talking about where the fucking bullets go.
Right.
These momos are trying to figure out where to stand in a room. That's the easy part, dude. Making the bullets go where you want them to go at that speed, that's the hard part.
Okay, so it's interesting to say that. I'm glad you bring that up, right? I've heard you talk about this a lot, and how much emphasis you put on the hard skill side of it before the where do we stand in a room part of it, right? Maybe let's talk about that a little bit. How far do you think you encourage guys, whether it's on the law enforcement side these days in your training or whatever context it is, how much time do you think folks should be spending, and how far should they be taking those hard skills before they start really focusing on, scenario based stuff and more on the TTP side of the house?
So I would say for guys that are well developed, right? Well trained, it would be an 80-20 split. 80% hard skills, 20% scenario, right? And then guys that are like, well, we're just getting into it, or the skills aren't there based off whatever, like you have to get away from like shooting the quals, right? You look at what do we want to do, right? So we're working on, engagements, like whatever, vehicle engagements, officer walks up to a window and starts shooting. Okay, well, let's look at retreating Bill's drill, right? Or retreating 5-round Bill's drill, right? Now, can you do that at 3 yards in under 2 seconds? No. Don't worry about the scenario.
Yeah.
Go back to the hard skills, right? I will take guys on literally anything that have overdeveloped hard skills and common sense. apply that to your metric. But everybody wants, like, the way we talked about those classes that are built around mechanics and stuff, right? Like, it's the low hanging
Yeah.
fruit. They want the easy button where, like, well, I did this test, now I know what to do, right? I don't care if you're doing CQB, active shooter, a a stop and interview, anything that turns out into a shoot. Those problems, when they become lethal, all get solved the same way.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need to have long. Where to stand in the fucking room is irrelevant if you can't make the bullets go where you want them to go faster than real life happens. So
Yeah.
let's focus on that, right? That's where you want guys to be, and not like, I tell them, like with rifles, right? You want to get really good at CQB rifle, the bulk of your rifle training happens at 30, 40, 50, 60 yards. And they're like, that's not, it's like, that's where you're going to make mistakes. I can get away with the world at 30 feet and in.
The stock off of your shoulder.
Yeah, I can do all of the things wrong and still get acceptable results. Where I
Right.
can't do those wrong is now when you talk about, too, like the way we measure shit. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, well, you ever seen someone shoot a 2-second bills from 40 yards? That'll give you a good understanding of what we're talking about, like in terms of performance-based rifle shooting, and how
Yeah.
we're stressing connection to the rifle, visual discipline, consistent mounts, right? That is what the tool can do, but you can't make it do it. It's like, it would be like getting a hammer and you just keep trying to drive nails with the claw part of a hammer.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you can do it.
Yeah.
You're gonna take 150 fucking hits to move the nail an inch, and I'm just gonna hit it one time, and the nail goes in. And that's where, like, we're kind of the training, the training side in my mind is like, dude, hard skills all day long. Like, I would say for most guys that I run into, and I know you have to get the scenarios because there's other intangibles that they're assessing for,
Sure.
but at a minimum, it would be like 80-20. 90-10 is a better split, and you're not even putting them on scenarios because until they have foundational stuff that is better than what the qual says it needs to be.
Yeah.
And
We kind
but
of
I
learned that that lesson the hard way a little bit at Vortex Edge. So we've got a action target shoot house that we do sims in, right? And we're like, oh, this is cool, right? We'll do home defense, we'll do concealed carry type active shooter response type classes. Not me, right? But some of the other guys teaching CQB class, do some night vision in there, all this stuff, right? And as is the case with a lot of those classes, there needs to be some sort of prerequisite to take the class, right? And we were seeing so much just lack of hard skills that it was getting harder. We had to keep raising the prereqs. And then eventually it was like, you know what? I think we just need to like just keep teaching pistol and rifle classes for like a couple of years to get enough alumni like Vortex Edge alumni who are coming from Wisconsin and
yeah.
Illinois and Iowa and Minnesota, right? To be like, oh yeah, I've taken your whole pipeline with you. And it's like, all right, so like now we can talk about moving in a house with a rifle, but like my dude, you keep like flipping your safety off and like no look shooting targets. Like, no, you can't do that, right? You got to come back to carbine class, right? And it was a
Yeah.
bummer because we had to we essentially took them off the roster. We're like, we're not going to offer these classes for a while. But it was for that exact reason because we were just there were 6 of us like running a shoot house and we were just all stressed out of our minds because we're like, look, dude, that's not going to work. If you leave here, like that won't work. Like you have to learn how to like keep your finger off the fucking trigger until you're ready to shoot. And it was
what
like,
I've
all right, man, back to the drawing board. Like,
dude,
that's what we got to
what
do.
I've noticed more with force on force and sims, and my own experience too, it really quickly turns in when it's not done with an extreme amount of discipline and like professionalism from the dudes going through the training, it turns into paintball.
Yes.
Right? And you see it, like, I would say 90+% of all the shots fired in a force on force thing there was zero aiming involved or any sort of articulatable aiming strategy, right? Because they're overcome by events. So it's like, how do you fix that, right? It goes back to like a cultural problem, right? Like I would say, for me, the easy button for fucking Sims is put everyone in t-shirts in Oakley, sign all the waivers.
Yep.
That will change what that training looks like. And then have a dude like, if you just start participating in unsighted fire, right? Or like you are not concerned about where the bullets go, we're going to unload and show clear, and thanks for paying for the course, and now you can just watch it from the catwalk, right?
Yep.
And you have to ingrain that in guys. Like we would do a lot of, force on paper, force on force, but there was still like you'd go hit a fucking target, a team target with photographic targets in there. We're shooting Sims rounds against them because it's in like a city somewhere, Phoenix or Dallas. And then as soon as you're exfilling, the backside guy has all the targets bundled, and he sets them aside and re-puts new targets in. And then you go and look at all the fucking targets. And you're going back like, hey, here's shot out of 5, like, right, here's a mic, this was a failure to no one engaged this, right, this was this room, who's going to own it, right? And we talk about it from the training side, but that was like the level of professionalism of the guys going through that is a requirement to have that, right? And then you treat it like it's a fucking real gun. And what I see is with force on force training, no one treats it like it's a real gun.
Yeah.
Even in terms of like they're willing to sit there and just trade paint at 3 feet, and you're like, you won't do that. I hate to bust your bubble, dude, but you won't. You're not good. Come on, like, put some of the concepts, some of the principles that we're trying to teach, put them into application. But it all relies on that. A guy has foundational skills that are well developed to overdeveloped.
Yeah.
But
I've seen that in a few dudes that I know who've done a bunch of like they're just regular civilian dudes like me, done a bunch of force on force classes. It's like their thing. They want to go take all the things. And they'll tell me, they'll be like, yeah, man, like, I mean, honestly, I'm just doing a bunch of this because it's the most realistic thing. And like I've had those dudes tell me like, yeah, man, like I don't ever really use my sights. Always hit the dude. And I'm like, our sim guns have dots on them, right? I'm like, I've never shot that sim gun without seeing a dot on a target, right? Like it's because I do all the shooting. Like I don't do a bunch of it like other people, right? And I'm not saying I'm good at CQB or anything like that. But when I pick up a sim gun or a rifle with a sim bolt in it, like I shoot it the way I shoot a real gun. You have to do that, I think. And I think a lot of people do get off track there, and it's a little too bad.
I think too many times, like, dudes are taking a class for like the experience rather than like, hey, I'm gonna go learn shit here.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like, especially on the civilian side, you see it all the time. It's like, man, dudes can't shoot a 4-second build drill, but they're wanting to learn how to jump on the hood of a car and shoot through the windshield, right? It's like,
or go learn how to do footwork in a house,
Yeah.
Where did the hood shooting that just came out of nowhere, right? Like all of a sudden I get 100 messages in a day of fucking a dude standing on it, like in a class promoting this. I'm like, what are we even do? I don't even care what the context is.
Yeah.
Right. It's just like, this is just ridiculous, man. I will say though, like, right, because I get hit up, obviously I get a ton of hate mail about not supporting the community, but still nobody can articulate what the community is really to me. But I will say, because shit like that has been allowed to happen for the last 10 years, you almost have to blame the community.
Yeah.
because you're driving the market, right? And if
Yeah.
the market is entertainment, then mission success. If the market is built around getting better, you have to say when things are not good, and you have to say them publicly. I believe that. And I don't think a lot of people are doing it, right? Like I would say I want anyone to publicly check the fuck out of me if I come off the rails, right?
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
saying that,
100%.
I would like to announce my hood shooting class schedule for 2023. It's a it's a vehicle CQB hood shooting ballistic shield notary republic class. It's all in one. So at the end of it, I'll notarize whatever you need, and I can also marry you if you want, because I'm a minister.
We should get Ben to just post a hood shooting class and just to see what happens.
Dude,
That would be
egg him
epic.
on.
Dude, in Arizona, every time I'd be on a fucking another range and he's over there doing fucking like be on a break and be like, oh, you got to see this. I'm like, oh, what the fuck did you just do? The thing was, I would say he is probably going to take the central axis relock class if that dude ever does it. The guy from Canada, because he was shooting central axis relock and dropping like tight alphas and everything. I'm like,
I
dude,
know.
you got to stop. Like, I'm getting fucking heartburn watching you shoot this way. Stop doing it.
Oh man, it's funny, man. But yeah, I think like you were saying, I mean, we got to call this. Somebody's got to be ready to call this stuff out, right? And I think for too long, the idea has been in the quote unquote community. It's like, man, it's unprofessional to ever call any of this stuff out. You never talk about any of the other instructors. You never talk about what anyone else is teaching. And it's like, nah, man, at a certain point, like this stuff is really unhealthy for people, and like it can be really damaging. And it's even if it's not for gunfighters, it's just for shooters. Like, man, it's costing people years of going down the wrong path and just with this bullcrap when they could just be learning how to shoot, or whatever it is.
People should set their feelings aside and like take the actual data of what like people are saying, rather than
can't
like,
do that.
I don't like the way he said it. It's like, come on, man.
Here's
we can't
the thing,
do that,
too.
man. We're
Set
men
this shit
shooting
aside.
guns. We can't put our egos aside. Come on.
Dude, that's the thing, right? We are men shooting guns. Everyone's a man, right? So why don't you act like men? And it's like, well, you didn't send me a message. You just post in the comments. Like, dude, I didn't want to talk to you in the comments anyway. I want you to come do a live and talk about it. And they're like, well, I'm not doing that. It's like, okay, well, then we're going to do it in the comments. Well, you should have sent me a message. Like, and it always divulges down to the same thing, right? Well, we're just trying to be really positive, and I'm a good dude. These are good dudes. I'm not talking about you guys. I'm talking about what you're teaching. I don't know if you're a good dude or not. We could probably sit at a Buffalo Wild Wings and have beers and get along fabulously. I don't fucking this isn't a personal attack, right? And that's where people it differs to where it's like dude, if you're a cop for fucking 3 or 4 years and then you're a fucking exterminator for fucking 6 years, I don't think you're a CQB master. I mean, I think it's worthwhile if you start a CQB company, let's talk about this. It's like, well, that's so toxic. I mean, like, well, okay, if that's toxic, like then we should just all say you just let it happen and then it's okay.
Yeah.
I don't really subscribe to that, but I think that is the community, and that is you create like little fandoms of fanboys. They're like, oh, why are you doing that? Because I get a lot of the messages from those guys like, oh, it's so unprofessional, soft guys and blah, 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 bunch of babies. I'm like, okay, like I'm not the one lying about my fucking experience or selling my experience. So I'm just saying that that's not true. But the fact that somebody lied to you for X amount of years, you're more offended that like, you can't even deal with that level of kind of fucked up thinking.
Right.
Like, dude, just give it a rest, man. Like,
Well, and not to mention, like, they're teaching stuff that could potentially get someone killed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so like
every
it's a very serious thing.
everybody acts like in the gun community that we're training people to do CrossFit and shit, right? Guys that are looking to carry guns, from an everyday carry defensive thing, need an extreme amount of skills, and guys that are dedicated to that are putting a lot of time and effort for practicing. So you want to deliver to them the best way to use that tool, right? Stop teaching them how to hit the nail with the claw of the hammer,
Mm-hmm.
when a lot of these answers are as simple as, you ever tried to flip the hammer around and use it as it was designed, like, type shit? But they get wrapped up in this minutia bullshit of, well, Billy used to be a Ninja Navy SEAL level 10 Omega Squad guy, so he's got to know what's going on,
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't think that's the answer, man. I think it comes back to, like, the way, like, you don't even have to look at, like, instructors. Just look at there's a lot of dudes on the internet that are doing really amazing things with guns, especially from concealment, in
Yeah.
terms of consistency, speed, performance, and you just see it. And I don't even care if that was the Instagram run,
Yeah.
right? If it took you 20 takes, what it demonstrated was that shit was possible.
Yeah.
Now, for a weirdo like me, I'm like, I got to do that every time. And that's where
Yeah.
that's how I would look at that in training, you know. But I think
Well,
it's
you got to do it once to start with, right? You got to be able to do it once to start with, and
exact,
before you can worry about doing it every time, right? And that's the thing. You got to push to what's not possible before it can become the new consistent.
dude. That's
Yep.
where I think I look at it like acceptable, good, and possible.
Hmm.
Live your training time in what's possible.
Yeah.
What can you actually do, right? In the practical world, right? I'm sure, Billy, you're doing the same thing. Nick, you too. And Brennan, you shoot a lot of matches, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are like exploring. I conceptualize like, hey, what can I get away with? What can I, how little can I see and still get the result that I want on this target? Because that's always going to work out in your favor. And then if you were to take that into a like defensive setting, you're still doing the same thing, right?
Mm.
But it's
Yeah.
how little I can see versus how much risk am I willing to assume? Because sometimes it's like I'll assume all the risk and see nothing
Hmm.
because the distance or difficulty is so close. And then other
Sure.
times it can be, I will assume no risk and I need to see appropriate, right? And
Yeah.
that's where I
Right.
think you start using just these conversations, using these types of words in the training world makes a huge difference. Like, I've noticed a change in the last 2 years, just how people talk.
Yes. It's sad though, and I apologize on behalf of the instructor community. I talk about this all the time. I start my I have sort of a more advanced level 2-day competition course that's like my attempt at like what do you need to know to make GM type stuff, and it's not like a beginner level course, right? You have to have been through courses, you have to have a certain level of skill to sign up for this thing, and so dudes come in at like at least a C class, B class level, right? Usually having taken multiple courses from other folks, right? And I always start the course and I'm like, all right, I got an open target at 5 yards and an open target at 25 yards. Am I going to shoot those both the same way? Everyone says no. Okay, what am I going to do differently? And other than speed up or slow down, almost never can anyone answer that question. And it's like, bro, this is the most elementary, basic stuff. Like, I'm just asking you, how do you shoot a target at a certain diff distance?
Yeah.
Like, we should be teaching this stuff from day freaking one, but like, it's seemingly no one is, right? And it's
which is
it's
funny.
scary.
That's a really interesting question, right? Because as you get better and better, like if you were to ask me, are you going to shoot them the same way? 100%.
Sure.
Why are you?
Yeah.
Because on the close target, I'm going to shoot it and guarantee 100% alphas. And on the back target, I'm going to shoot it the same way, and I'm willing to take 80% alphas. Like, I'll take Alpha Charlie all day long on that 20-yard target. And then I'm leaving this position and moving to the next thing. And then even from a training standpoint, it's like, you proved, okay, you can shoot the 5-yard target really aggressively. Now what I ask people to do, I want you to shoot that 20-yard target the same way you shot the 5-yard target in terms of performance. And let's see how that changes the result. And most people are like pleasantly surprised, like, all right, we're hitting Brown, right? Charlie Delta,
Right.
whatever. Now we can start tweaking. Don't try to tweak foundational skills at 5 yards where you can get away with everything.
Yeah.
Tweak them at 20. You right? 15. I'm a big believer in 36 feet, 12 yards is where all the weird shit happens. Right? You guys are at 10 yards and they're solid as fuck. Take 2 steps back. And it just falls apart. Because the perception, like what I've noticed for me personally, the perception of a 10-yard target versus a 12-yard target is extreme in terms of what it takes. And I don't know if it runs in the background of guys' heads about, well, I'm at 10 yards and like, oh, fuck, this is 12. And then you just keep building on that where it's like I see so many dudes, right? I love that guys are shooting doubles and some guys are using it correctly. Some guys I think use it, their own way, but a lot of doubles need to happen, not at 5, 7, and 10. Of
course.
Shoot that pace as a training strategy at 15, 20, and 25. And then the work in training is now you need to get the 5 and 10-yard results at 15 and 20. And I'll tell everybody in classes, like, it's possible. Like, I'll demo it. Like, I'll run as fast as I can. It's just like I'm putting all the conscious thought, though, and minimizing input into the gun and staying visually connected to the target above everything else.
Yeah. Good stuff, man.
Yeah. You got to prove to people
these are the kind of conversations
people
don't want to have. Yeah.
They want to talk about footwork and hips. I'm not going to lie. When I saw that GBRS video, I literally stood up. I'm like, no, man. My foot can be out and I can turn just as far. Like, I'm calling bullshit on all this.
Yeah.
Man, I always wondered why, like, the whole stay in your lane thing only worked one way. You know what I mean? Like, it never goes the other way. Like, you or whatever, and you can't fucking shoot, but you're teaching shooting. But, like, I would never teach a door kicker class because I've never been a door kicker. So, like, why does it only go one way? Is that wrong? Is that bad that I said that?
What I want to know about that video, Matt, is like,
It's not bad that you said that. I like that.
How did Glover go from being this special operations ninja who can outshoot most GMs to this? All of a sudden, he's acting like he's never shot a gun before. Anytime GBRS is around, he's just like the student who's learning this new stuff he's never heard from before about how to stand when you're shooting a rifle. And I'm like, what is happening? Dude, I don't get those videos at all. It's wild.
Because that's what the marketing team. Dude, Glover referring to himself as a GM is like, hey, I'm Matt Pranka and I'm an astronaut. Why are you guys laughing? I'm an astronaut. I look up and see the stars and I can conceptualize myself traveling through. I'm an astronaut.
You shouldn't laugh. That's bad for the community.
If we're just saying shit, if we're just going to say shit that's not true, I know Glover now is like, I'm going to be GM in a year. It's like, hey, Mike, how's that going? I would love to know how it's going, but I'm blocked from everything. So let me
It's
know.
not
Like,
going.
It ain't
what?
going.
No.
Yeah. I wish if anyone from Practice Score is watching this, put in a thing where you can search someone's name for match results.
You can on the app. I do it all the time.
Yeah, so put Mike
Yeah.
Glover in on the app and see if any matches come up in ever. That would be hilarious.
There's an IDPA match and an AK and 2 AK matches. But
Yeah. Well, he probably won
yeah.
them, I guaranteed.
Oh yeah.
No, I think it's funny and I don't think I get like stay in your lane, and they do that shit, right? These are like the Brovet guys that are selling some sort of resume and fucking pedigree. It can be whatever I want it to be, because you guys weren't there, so I can say whatever the fuck I want. It's why I hate it. I fucking hate that. But the stay in your lane thing, like, I just had a conversation, right, with Andrew Wright from Surefire, and he was like, well, he made a comment to me where he was like, who am I? Like, we were having an opinionated conversation about some training stuff. He's like, oh, who am I? And I was like, dude, don't ever say that. Like, don't think that.
Mm-hmm.
You're putting in a ton of work into this shit. You 100% can have a fucking opinion about all of it.
Sure.
Like, this is the thing where, like, it's not, you don't have to have done, like, what's going to happen in 10 years when no one from GWAT can barely fucking walk?
Mm-hmm.
Now who's going to be the wizard, right? It's like that. None of that shit had anything to do with what we're talking about today. And the guys that are doing that are unwilling to create something themselves to further themselves. So it's like, hey, I'm just going to take all of this shit from my past and package it up, and I'm selling it to you. And I'm going to make as much money as I can. And I can't wait till they make their threshold so they can all fucking disappear.
Mm-hmm.
And just be done with it. Like,
Yeah.
because it's a bunch of fake stories, man. And there's
Yeah.
some legit dudes, right? That it's like, hey, GBRS guys are complete bona fide legit dudes, right? We could sit down, have beers, and talk about that stuff and the task, but like, that was our thing. It's not the thing for the whole world. And this
Right.
is where this idea about branding it, I really have issue with. Like, do you guys remember all the dudes that came back from Vietnam and started training companies?
Nope.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's why is this such a new? It's like, and there's some dudes did a lot more shit, man. Mac V Saw guys than anyone in GWAT did.
I've
Like,
noticed like the super legit dudes typically don't talk about it. They don't feel the need to talk about it. Like I've met Brad Halling in a bar. He didn't tell me any war stories. He was just a super nice guy. You know.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, dude, he is a super nice guy. Like, and that's the thing. It's like I'll talk about it a lot with the dudes that like I connect with, like former teammates and the guys I still have access to. Like, but that was like our thing. Like, you get together, yeah, let's have some beers or whatever. I'm not dwelling on it. I'm still trying to figure out, like, how come I'm trying to trap a swinger, but I keep tracking it like a retard from earlier today. You think I'm worried about some shit that happened 10 fucking years ago? No.
Right.
I'm trying to keep up with fucking Randall and shit. What? He's fucking 28. I'm 47. I'm like, goddamn, he's good too.
Eric got us schooled up on some swingers, man. That was a great class that ran on that one.
Dude,
And Brennan was there too. It was a good time.
I was supposed to be in that class, man. I'm so bummed I missed it.
You guys
Yeah.
both should have been in that class. Just saying.
I know. I knew I'd be sick as shit after SHOT Show, and sure enough, I was.
Yeah.
You should have been laying on the side, just like taking notes.
Bro,
Just like, oh, I'm too sick to shoot, but I'm just gonna take notes, Eric.
I'm pretty
What,
sure like I had COVID, man. Like I couldn't breathe again. Like it was fucking horrible.
dude?
Sucks.
Yeah.
Matt, to your
Shot show
point,
creds, no joke.
Yeah.
Matt, to your point, like, so one of the guys I work with, you've met him, Justin Lipska, at Edge. So he was in special ops, Green Beret for like 10 years, right? And something that's interesting, like with him, like I have to pull that kind of stuff out of him. Like, hey man, like tell me about some sort of like I'm looking for some sort of application, right? Of like something he has done in the past. And he's good at like a lot of other things. He was a sniper, super good behind a bolt gun. And he'll be the first person to tell you, he'd be like, "Oh yeah, man, I suck with a pistol." Like he says it in front of in like the beginning of classes, like, "Look guys, like I didn't start shooting a pistol until I came here, and like all these performance dudes started pushing me." And like he doesn't shoot USPSA, but he's gotten all of his performance stuff from dudes who shoot USPSA. And
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you know way more than me about like almost everything regarding like life with guns, right? But I know more about performance shooting than you do. And he will just sit there and be like, "Hey, show me that again. Tell me about this again." And I'm like, you could have like your own company where you're just pushing your resume and talking about everything you did and all this seer stuff and this, that, and the other thing. And he's just over there like, "No, this is cool. Like, I need to like push my draw. That, that part sucks." And like, I'm like, man, that's cool. And we got a couple dudes like that. And it's like, man, that's really cool to
Dude,
work with dudes like that,
and really, honestly, from my experience, like that is like the norm. The shit you see on social
Yeah.
media, those dudes are the exception, right? To where
Yes.
it's like, I'll get hit up forever where it's like, "Oh, you're just hating on Navy SEALs." I'm like, no, I'm not. Like those dudes are an exception. Like I have plenty of friends from the command that are really quiet professionals that are fucking
Hmm.
badass that did all of the stuff for real. Like they are super good dudes. They're just not out there fucking selling it. And it's
Yeah.
not, yeah. So that guy, like, well, shit, man, I've been up to Vortex Edge. If he's working at Vortex Edge, dude, if I was working at Vortex, I would just be happy. Yeah, no, man, I'm just happy to be here. Like that's a badass
Yeah.
place. You have an awesome range. You guys have a great
Yeah.
facility. You probably have pallets of ammo, and you're paid to train yourself and then train other people.
Yep.
Yeah, I would just go with the flow as well.
Exactly.
But honestly, he's
Exactly.
the right guy. Like that is the true quiet professional.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, and you're like, you could ask him questions like, "What about this?" And the thing is, too, he'll just give you his view from what he knows from training and firsthand experience, but he's not going to tell you hypothetical shit like
Like,
I was
yeah.
neck deep in whatever, I don't know, like you know what I'm talking, knee deep in brass and fucking fighting with my e-tool, like just stop.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, cool dude.
Exactly.
I mean, I had Justin in my class for 2 days. I don't think I even knew he was in the military until you said that, Brennan. I mean, but yeah, he was there soaking up knowledge, trying
Yeah.
everything. Cool dude,
Yeah,
for sure. But,
Yeah. Those are the kind of people like you said, Matt, like they're out there, right? And a lot of them just are doing the right job of blending in, and like their wealth of knowledge on so many topics. But like you
yeah,
said, there's a few really loud ones who have, you know,
dude,
triple digit thousands of followers on Instagram, and so those are the people who make the biggest noise.
yeah, and it's like that guy Justin, like that's why Vortex grabbed him up, right? You're a wealth of knowledge,
Yep.
value added to the environment, to the organization, to what you're doing, and he's like, also, from what it sounds like, just constantly working to get better.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
dude, to me, I'm more interested in dudes that are working hard. Like typically, like I will answer every message I get on Instagram and shit like that. So, but I match people's like my enthusiasm will match your dedication, right? So I had a guy that
100%.
like would send me a video. I actually made a post about him, and he would send me a video, and I was like, "Oh, I would do this. This is what I see," and then 2 weeks later, I'd get another video. He's like, "I was watching this," and he'd reference stuff that I posted before. He's like, "Okay, this is my this is what I'm doing." Blah blah blah. And I'd be like, "Okay," and I'd write him like a video critique. And then it was more and more, dude. And watching this guy change over a year, if he sends me a video, it's like, yeah, I'm putting that shit into my apps and like watching it in slow motion.
Yep.
But you see, like, dude, you started in this one thing, and now
Yep.
you're like very performance oriented, and he's, it's all personal protection stuff, right? Like, it's for
Yeah.
himself and for his family, and the training dry fire caused him to start like boxing and striking. Hey, that's another kind of leg of the fucking table that you got to be good at. And then he started saw deficiencies in working out, and that the physicality got there. And I was like, to me, that motivates me. Like, dude, you're doing all the work. Like, you should be highlighted, not the dude that's like, I don't know, like just pimping stuff.
Yes. 100%.
Yeah. Well, guys, this has been good. I think we're about out of time. Matt, let the people know. Xray Alpha, what are you up to? Where can they find you? What should people know?
Well, you'll have a hard time finding me now on Instagram because I'm about shadow banned from everything. But if you put
Yeah, aren't we all?
xray.alpha.llc, it'll come up. Website's xrayalpha.com. Limited in terms of time with training, right? I'm trying to meet all the requirements. Anybody that wants to train, I love it. Based out of North Carolina, travel around, primarily law enforcement, military, but I am getting into the civilian market, right? We'll have some purely open enrollment classes in Texas, 2023. They'll be up on the website. I host everything there, so that's the best place to find me.
Cool. Yeah, all of Matt's information along with the rest of us will be linked down below. So check him out. Check these other guys out that are nice enough to spend their time with us on the podcast. Hope it's been helpful for you guys. Train with these guys, follow these guys, all the good stuff. I promise you will not regret it. And thanks again, Matt, for coming on tonight. It's been good. I think it'll be helpful for folks. And until next time, folks, it's been Speed Up and Get Your Hits. We'll see you on the next episode.